What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're about to get started on putting the pipe that we got notched, getting it all welded up, putting this top rail back on this trailer here. I've got all the angle iron notched as well. We're going to get that up here. All the pipes notched, as I say. I've got to get the frame level. I've got it pretty close right there. Some jack stands on the back and using the tongue jack. But I want to try to get that bottom rail as straight as possible. As you see, that trailer is very flexible without the top rail being on it. So got to get that done before we start welding on it, and then kind of get everything tacked in place. And I may go ahead and weld these cross members out before I put the top rail on it, just so that I'm not having to step over the top rail and all that and drag everything over the top of it. But got everything set up in here. I'm going to set you guys up over here, and we're going to get started to see if we can get this top rail on here today, and kind of get everything lined out so that we can see what else we need to order or get to finish this project up. Alright guys, so I'm going to explain a little bit about what I got going on here. I've decided to go ahead and get the top rails tacked on just to keep the bottom piece of pipe there on the frame from bowing or flexing any or as much whenever I start welding on it. I've got this set up here with a piece of angle iron on the bottom so that this is flush with the bottom here. I've got everything square, clamped into place, and I don't want to put this right up against the fender here because these fenders here are for 15-inch wheels. At some point in the future, we may change this out to regular axles with a 16-inch tire or something different. Most of your trailer fenders are for 72 inches. So you'd want 72 inches between here and right here. And so that's what I'm doing by moving these out away from the fender right there. That way, if we want to put a different fender on here, that it should fit with no problem. So I'll just have to attach these to there some kind of way. Hey cat, you need to go play. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing there. I got both of them tacked or stuck into place. I'm fixing to tack them, but the cat don't knock them loose. And well, when I crank that welding machine up, she'll go on outside and play somewhere. But anyway, she hears me in here talking. She wants to come be a part of the video. So I've got everything ready to go there. Fix to crank the welding machine up, put a few tacks on this, and then we'll do, I guess I'll go ahead and start tacking these on this side and set the pipe up there and get everything tacked, and then move to the other side and get everything tacked up. I guess is the way we'll go about doing this. So let's get the welder cranked up here. Just about out of, this is standard hardwire, but I've got plenty of structural dual shield flux core there, so that's probably what I'm going to be using. But I'm going to go ahead and use this up just to tack it in place because there's not very much left on that roll anyways. So I've got it set up here. I don't really have even measurement between where these uprights is going to be spaced at, but I came up with like 21 inches between them because it's 7 foot between the back of here and that one down there. So if I put them at 21 inches for them, pretty equally spaced there. So it'll be one here, one there, that one there. And then I'm going to do something else here. I'm not sure what. That's going to be square tube or pipe or what. But you see how I did this? Set this up here. That way his hitch stays there for his winch that goes in there. And this will come right here. And this will put the pipe top rail on the outside of the fender instead of on the inside like it was. And up higher, had to get up higher to go above the fender down there. So that's the way I'm doing that. And as I say, these aren't lining up real well down here with the cross members, so I had to turn this sideways in order to get this tacked up here. But let me get these other two tacked up here and we'll take another look at it. Alright guys, so I've got this one here all tacked up. Started on the other side, same way I did over here. One in front of the fender, one behind. I got my pipe on the front up there tacked up that this top rail's got a notch into. Cut the welding machine off so you guys can hear me for a minute. We're going to get this top rail on the other side set up there and make sure everything's going to kind of line up, and then we will start tacking the rest of our braces on there. Remember this one right here with the big gap, the first one I did, I messed up on? That was in another video for you guys. It's this only video you see. Alright guys, so still working on this here, and got this 2.5 inch square tubing over in the floor, and I got that welded on there right there. That'll kind of protect that fender. And as I stated earlier in the video, if this had the proper fenders on there like I would like to put on there, the fender would come up to this right here. That's the way I got it measured. Right now I've got this 2 inch square tubing, and I've got it marked out, and we'll make this the light bar for the back of the trailer. You're supposed to have 3 lights in the center, you know, on the back of a trailer this width. And so I'm going to get the mag drill over there, and I got to put a center punch in these, and then we will take the mag drill and drill I think I'm going to go with a 13/16 hole, because I'm going to put 3/4 inch LEDs in there. Usually you need to allow just a little bit for the grommet. I don't have any lights to test fit it, so that's what I'm going to go with and hope it's correct. But then we'll cut this off right here. This is 16 inches long, and these lights will be 6 inches a piece, or 6 inches apart. And then we will weld this up under the back of the trailer. And if you drag bottom or whatever, you won't damage the lights. And that right there is pretty solid. That's 1/4 wall. That's more than you need for what I'm doing with it, but that's what I got on hand, so that's what we're going to do. Let me get the mag drill out and we'll get started. All right, got the mag drill out. We'll get her lined up here. I just got it setting up there. The pilot in the center punch spot there. Engage the magnet. Really supposed to have a wider base than this and something a little better, but I think we're going to be okay with it. We're going to find out. Being a little bit hesitant on how much pressure I can put on that because of the material I got this setting on is not really thick as they recommend. You really need to have this on 3/8 material to get a good hole with this magnet, and so I don't want it to catch and go round and round. Also break your bit. We're in the mark there. A little bit hard to see with the coolant on there. I think I need to tighten up these set screws. This thing's going to come down on its own. Alright, so now what I got to do is slide it out, cut this line right here with the bandsaw, and our light bar will be made. You can't even come close to doing anything like that with a regular drill in any kind of timely manner anyways. Let me go ahead and get that second clamp on there somewhere. I don't want it moving around on me. Maybe this battery still got enough juice to cut. I don't know, it sounded weak a while ago, the last cut I made. I need a battery. I knew it sounded weak a while ago. All right, we're ready to roll now. One thing I didn't think about that I should have drilled a small hole in the backside of this for the wires to go through. All right, let's see what we do. Alright, so that is our light bar for the back of the trailer. All we gotta do is cap the ends of it and put the lights in it. You see the 3 holes here and then the center hole in the back for the wires to come through. Weld this into the back of the trailer and I'll have to get some lights put in. Alright guys, so I'm going ahead and making my end caps for the end of that. Out of this square tubing right here, I don't have any flat bar, so I'm just using the bandsaw to cut this and get my pieces that I'm going to need to cap the ends of that. That one and that one should be able to make an end cap like that right there. And well, the seam up there, seam up here, should be good to go. Could have cut it not quite that long on the end, but it ain't gonna matter. Just need to cap the end off to get keep the dirt and stuff getting up in it. So I want to be able to go ahead and weld my caps on the end. That way I don't have to try to do it after get my wires in there and everything and try to melt them, but I want to make sure I can get my wires in there. So I've run some of this welding wire through the hole in the back and through where these end ones. The middle won't be any problem because they come straight through, but those end ones I felt like could be a problem. So I could probably get them in there, but I figure I'd go ahead and do this. It'll ease some frustrations later. So we're going to set this up here and we'll crank the welder up. We're going to go ahead and weld these out on the end caps and then we'll mount this bar up under there. Alright guys, I got that thing welded under the back there, the light bar deal. I think I'm going to take this thing outside and turn it upside down and bring it back in here upside down so that I can weld the bottom side of all these uprights and the cross members. We'll notch those in there. There's 6 cross members and 14 of these. If it was only a couple of them, I'd get up under there and weld them, but I don't want to roll around in there and up under there and get completely burned up by welding sparks trying to weld all that. It'll be a lot quicker if I can just turn this thing over outside, bring it back in here upside down, and we'll go at it that way. That should make things a lot easier to weld, shouldn't it? And get a good weld down in the bottom of here on each one of these and around every one of those pipes that I put in there now. And I will have to come back on this front one here, on this front corner that I got to do something with right here. But I can weld that, you know, like I say, if it's only 1 or 2 places, I don't mind getting up under there and welding a little bit on the bottom, but all this welding I got to do, it's just easier to turn the whole trailer over and do it this way. So now we got her in here upside down. I'm going to weld all this up, and then I've got some square tubing over there that was the previous top rail on this. I think I'm going to tack up under here somewhere so that I can be able to run some wiring in, because the way the wiring was run was just in between a crack in the boards, and you know, we had problems with it a lot and stuff. So we're going to do that a little bit better as well. Alright guys, that's it for tonight. I raised the dozer blade up and pushed this thing on in the shop here where I could get the door closed. I welded the old top rail. That's what this was right here. I welded this on there so I could have somewhere to run my wires through. It's not ideal. It's a little bit big, and you know, I just used scrap pieces I had. Some of them ain't long enough, but it's going to work, I believe. I'll have a marker light out here. You go through there and tie in over yonder. Right there at the, we got that gap in it there, tie in over there. That marker light and the main harness. Main harness will go down here, tie into the electric brakes, jump over with the marker light wire through this square tubing over to right here. You got a hole drill for wire go through here. Put an end cap on here with a marker light on it. Same thing on the other side. Wire continue on. I had a notch right there at that axle tube because that pipe would not let the axle go all the way down, and I figured that'd create a problem, so I notched it out right there. What I'll do, I'll take a zip tie and zip tie around that right there, secure the wires up in there once I get them through there, and that should work okay. Alright guys, a little update on the trailer here. I decided to cut these things right here off at an angle so that the light will shine kind of forward and to the side. I found some scrap pieces in 3-inch. The front ones are 2.5, but I found these in 3-inch that I had cut off of the dozer blade when I cut this down, and so they were just going to go in the scrap bin. So I figured I would repurpose them and cut them at the same angle. I'm not going to put a light on the back part. It's not required, not needed, so I'm not going to worry about that. I've got all the rest of the metal I need to finish the trailer with. I picked that up today. And these ramps right here, I started building these about 12 years ago, I think it was. This one here got built, and the story was on this, I built a gooseneck trailer about 12 years ago, somewhere in there, and I got this ramp built, and then another guy that I knew, a friend of mine, had a trailer that he didn't need the ramps off anymore. He used it for like a tool trailer for his business, and so he had a perfectly good set of ramps. He said, you can have them, and so I never finished the second ramp. So this ramp was laid out in the back by the woods, and it's been used as a drag. I had a chain tied on it, dragging around to level the yard out, and a couple other things, I think. But anyway, so I got it, and then I got the metal and stuff to finish the second ramp here. I had a few of these. These are really dirty. I found them laying in the corner of the shop, my dad's shop, from years ago. Anyway, got some fresh metal and some new channel iron there, and I'm putting together the second ramp. And that is the ramp that we're going to, or the ramps that we're going to put on this trailer here. So it's only taken 12 years to complete the set of ramps. So anyway, did that. I decided that we are going to replace the fenders. Since we're doing this here, we're going to do everything except for the axles, because like I say, he just put these tires on here. You can see they're brand new. Still got the knobs on them. They got like 100 miles on them. We'll run them down some, and then we may look into going ahead and swapping the axles and stuff out on this after we get a few miles on this here, but everything else will be ready on the trailer. Anyway, what I was saying about the fenders, I looked around on the internet, and I guess there's a trailer fender shortage. The cheapest fenders are, I ain't gonna say the cheapest, the proper fenders that what I wanted was a 14 gauge, like a double broke, like that right there, diamond plate fender, that would go in here like you see on the, the trailers with the heavier axles under them, and they were over $600 for two fenders with the backsplashes. So I had the guy that's making the stuff for my dozer blade over here to build me some fenders. So these are the fenders here. They are 1/4 inch plate. It's not diamond plate or anything, just 1/4 inch plate, double broke, 9 inches wide, and then these is 1/8 inch backsplashes, fender guards, so that'll have to be welded up. And that was half the price of what they wanted for normal 14 gauge fenders. So yeah, that's the route we're going. And that should be a lot heavier than anything. The only thing is it don't have a lip on it that would be broke to add some stiffness. But that thing's going to be welded to the top rail and stuff anyway, and I may add a little stiffener bar between the axles right there if I have to. But that's 1/4 inch plate. That ought to withstand stuff being dropped on it and whatnot a lot better than say 14 gauge or whatever. Alright guys, so that is a wrap for tonight. I got this flat bar here stuck up there. That's a 3" by 3/8 rub rail. And that's going to be so you can tie stuff down. There'll be a board inside of here. So I'm going to make it so you can put a 2x12 in there, as I said. And so that closes up your sidewall, so you can't use the top rail to tie to. So you need some way to, secure stuff over the top rail. And so that right there will be a nice way to do it. You can also put your DOT tape on that. And I'm going to wait and do this front piece tomorrow or the next day, or whenever I get around to it, I guess, whenever I work on this project again. But basically it's going to be just like that. I'll just have to coat or notch it like I did them, but it's a piece of 5x3, so it'll stick out further this way, so it'll leave a flange for the board that I'm going to put in there to bolt to. The ramps, I've got this is the rub rail here, 3/8 by 3. I went ahead and welded those tabs on there. I've got to drill a hole in here. I don't have the correct hole saw yet. It hadn't came in. And so I'll drill a hole through there for a rod, and these will be hinged on the back of the trailer. And then I have a latch up on the other end up here on the rail to secure them and hold them up. That way, you just pull the pin kind of deal and drop the ramp on the ground. You don't have to, try to slide these heavy ramps around. A lot of trailers got the slide-in ramps. Those ramps are probably 80, 90 pounds a piece. And, you don't really want to tote them around if you don't have to. I will make them removable so that you could, if you was hauling something longer, that the ramps wouldn't latch into place, that you could pull the pin out, or the rod that goes through, that'll be going through here. You could pull it out and take the ramps off if you needed to for whatever you were hauling to make it fit on the trailer. But for the most part, what we use this trailer for, and just being able to grab the end of the ramp and flip it up and latch it into place, I think will work pretty well. So anyway, I guess I'll wrap this video up. I don't know how long it's getting to be, and we'll work on it some more in the next one whenever I get a chance to do a little more work on it. And I think that's about it. We've got to get this piece here and the rub rail, and then we'll be ready to put the fenders on. And I got to raise the blade up on the dozer back there off the trailer so I can finish welding the rub rail back there. And we'll be pretty well ready to put the fenders on, and then run some wiring and stuff. And then of course everything had to be painted, and then we'll be ready for the boards and all that. So still a lot of small stuff to do, and got to mount the ramps and stuff on the back, but I can't do that till I get it in a different position from it is now.